So, following on from the study that I did of Leroy using 1-minute drawings, I am going to paint in watercolour. I feel like for watercolour we give it quite a dreamy effect. The first one I did was in gouache, and that really kind of emphasised the shapes of Leroy. This one is going to be a different image. I'm going to go with this one here, where he's kind of stretched out. You can see his eyes closed and his ears kind of to each side, and there's just something quite dreamy about that one, which I'm going to capture. And I'll keep referring to this just for the simple shapes that you can see, and it will just help me with a reference point for marking out where Leroy is going to go on the page. So I'm going to just get the basic shape of Leroy first. I'm going to do that with a little bit of grey and black and a tiny little bit of blue, because I want to kind of capture something a little bit more dreamy about this. So I am going to create a background. I'm going to do a bit of sponging in the background so it feels a little bit dreamy and cloudy, and I want the colours to complement each other. So having a little bit of blue in with the grey here will then help me with the background, because I can add a bit of blue to the background and it will just feel a little bit more connected. So Leroy in this image is stretched out quite long, but I haven't got the whole of him in this. So I'm just going to get the basic kind of shapes that I've captured in this image. It's just knowing where to start. So if I start too far up, then I'll feel like I want to put his paws in the picture, but I haven't actually drawn them in my study. Whereas if I put him kind of in the centre, a little bit further down, I can then create a background around him, so I don't feel the need to fill in that space with the parts of his body that I haven't actually captured in the image. add a little bit more blue now. Just to some of the main shapes. It's almost like he's going to be kind of jumping into a dream. Just accentuating his little frowny forehead while he's sleeping. By kind of highlighting that with blue. His little squished up face. Okay, for the background, I think I'm going to try some kind of reds and blues and whites, just to kind of see if I can get like a nice purpley effect. I might add some green later on, I'm not sure yet. Just kind of see what this looks like together. Layering, sponging it up, and kind of doing a twisty motion to blend it. So I've added like a frame to this piece, and he looks like he's not just sleeping now. He's just leaping into this dream. It's quite kind of surreal and floaty and dreamlike. I think I'm going to just add a little bit of water on top of these watercolours, just so that some of it blends and it looks quite cloud-like. And just like in this study, like it was just very, very quick, and I just kind of just quickly drew his image there. And what I've got from it is almost like this kitten-like version of him. Do those swirls again. I think the swirls are quite nice because we've got the long brush strokes in the cat, and then we've got these swirls that kind of almost kind of complement it. You don't want everything the same. You can if you want, but for me, I don't want the whole thing the same. I want some kind of variety, but something which shows that there's movement in the image as well. He's not just still in this image. He's kind of leaping into somewhere else. He might be kind of still whilst lying there sleeping, but you can just tell that he's dreaming and there's something more going on there. Helpful to just look back every now and then at it instead of getting too immersed. You can just look back and kind of see how it's going and see how you're responding to it as well. There might be parts that you really like, parts that you feel you want to have more to. It's quite intuitive, this kind of art making. You go with your gut feeling. You go with what you kind of feel is the next thing to do with it. think I will leave it there. And I think I'll just get the other image from the last painting I did from the study. So you can see you can get completely different styles from this study. We've got Leroy kind of sitting, looking almost like a rock, sitting quite still, quite sure of his pose, kind of curled up, but you know, he's not kind of letting go of himself. He's very much in like a ball, and you can see the way that the weight is just distributed. And then in this one, it's quite free and quite kitten-like, quite just very loose kind of art making. Yeah, they're very different pieces, both from the same 1 minute drawing study. I wonder how yours will look. I wonder if you'll have birds to draw and paint. And maybe you've got something even more exotic than that. Maybe you have a snake. Be careful if you're drawing snakes. Have an adult with you. Okay. Anyway, see you next time.